And I'm perpetually frustrated by this, perpetually frustrated by it, because I don't know what it's like to be black. I don't know. I'm talking to my friend about this weekend, Stugotz, and this is something that never enters my consciousness. Like, for example, when we talk about how it's different from being a man and privilege in this country to being a woman, I don't know what it's like to walk to my car at night and be scared, like a woman might be.
Sure.
I don't know what that's like, and I don't know what it's like. I was talking to a black friend of mine who's telling me, oh, yeah, my entire life, I make it a 5-mile radius on purpose, and I'm in my car as little as I possibly can be, because I want to make sure that I don't get put in one of these positions where I'm in my car and I get killed for something and I wasn't doing anything.
Imagine having to live your life like that.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
There's a disconnect here. There's a total disconnect here because you can't understand. How can I possibly understand that? I'm hearing it for the first time and I'm like, you what? You do what? You've been my friend for how long? And you do what? Make my life 5-mile radius, try to stay in my car as little as humanly possible because I don't want to get pulled over for the wrong reason. I don't even understand it. I'm like, what? Who lives like that? How? I'll tell you who lives like that. Black people live like that.
Got pulled over driving from Vegas to Phoenix. This is about 10 years ago, over the Hoover Dam. Cop comes up, says, license, registration, yada, 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 where you going, give him the stuff. And he says, he takes the stuff, and as he's walking away, he says, step out of the vehicle. I say, oh, here we go. Get out of the car. Next thing you know, he's pointing his gun at me. Get back in the vehicle, get back in the vehicle. And I'm yelling back at him, but you just told me to step out of the vehicle. And we're yelling at each other probably good 5-7 seconds before it hits me. He is going to unload if you do not get back in this car. And so I get back in the car, and he walks up later and he says, I told you to stay put. There was no reason for him to pull a gun on me, and there was definitely no reason to say stay put, like I'm going to drive off, leaving my license and registration with you. I mean, it's ridiculous. But that's...
Well, it's ridiculous, and that's not happening to me.
Exactly. But it's one of a million stories of people that I know personally, not reading about in the news, that go through this all the time.
I was arrested for being sarcastic to a police officer, and nonstop sarcastic for being nonstop sarcastic is what I was arrested for. And the number of my black friends who I have spoken to who say simply that they marvel at the very idea of, wait a minute, white people talk back to the cops?
Mm-hmm.
Talk back to, what do you, it's something other than yes, sir, no, sir. White people get away with talking back to police officers?
I did it in Pennsylvania. I told the story on the air on the way to Hershey Park where a guy pulled me over with my kids, asked me if I had weapons in the back of my car, and I started unleashing on him. Like, are you kidding me, in front of my kids? And he let me go. He gave me a speeding ticket and then let me go.
It's two different Americas governed by two different police forces.
I had the NYPD cops in the subway in New York. There were 5 of them. They were all about like 6'2", looking like they're MMA guys. I'm there. I'm younger. I'm probably like 20, 21. And I had a bottle of Snapple in my hand. And the guy says, put the bottle down. And I say, it's just a bottle. It's a plastic bottle of Snapple. And he says, I don't know. You might be Bruce Lee's cousin. The messed up part is, Dan, is I wonder how much of this is just because we have the technology to let it be.
Well, that's what's happening.
That's it's been happening.
No,
right?
this is white people seeing it largely for the first time. That's what's happening here. Where 20 years ago, it's black people telling. This isn't new. None of this is new. None of it is new. None of this is new. We just have the video now. This is what I'm talking about, though. It's the majority is being introduced to some of this stuff, and how can you deny it now? That's the part that I don't get is if you're denying it now and not realize that the ethnicities are living in two different Americas in a way that's overt. If with the modern technology you want to deny that this stuff does not exist, it's only because you're insistent on believing what you already believe. It can't be because you're open-minded about being offered proof.